Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today. I am very excited to share our guest with you. But before we do, I'd like to thank some people that we always thank. We want to thank brassandwinds.com. Brass and Winds, a Quimby Eskimo company. Whenever we're looking for brass or woodwind instruments, we always go to brassandwinds.com, and we suggest you do too. Brassandwinds.com. If you're interested in learning piano or voice, there are two options with us. One is Truer MU, where you can study online, and another is the Willow School at willowschoolga.com, where you can study with a person. We are a better way to learn music. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to a woman named Charleesa. She is a singer-songwriter who currently lives in Austria. Her tracks are intended to promote the listener to contemplate life, love, consciousness, and inspire personal growth. Charleesa, welcome to our show today.
Hello, and hello from Elijah.
Hello, Elijah. Welcome. We have a double interview. This is very exciting.
Yeah, he had something to say too.
Charleesa, I want to start with one of your songs because you have a lot of songs available, and I found myself fascinated by a song called Climbing. And I noticed that you have 3 versions of this song, and each one is completely different. Why did you do that?
Yeah, that's right. Basically, it was mostly sort of an accident. It wasn't really planned. The first version was made in India with a really talented guitar player. Basically, I just explain a little bit about the process that I do. So a song comes to me. I don't write a song, it comes to me as a song. And of course, then I don't play instruments. So then I get in touch with musicians. And this guy was a friend of a friend in India, and he played the guitar. So we got together at my house, and he listened to the version of me singing it, and then played around with the guitar and came up with something really nice. And then we went to a studio of a friend of his. It's called Studio 52 in Asagao in Goa, and we made a recording, and that was the first version. And then I was actually in India. I had a beach shack with a partner, and we had live sessions. That was something that I did. I have a live session every week where I sung, and I also invited musicians to come and play for the customers. And there were 2 guys, one from England and one from Spain, who were both currently living in Spain, performing, and were traveling. And we sat on the beach. We played around with my song, and they played some kind of like reggae backbeat, and I started singing, and boom, there was another version. And really, we worked on it for a couple of hours for 2 separate days, a couple of hours each day. And then they announced that they were actually leaving to Sri Lanka next week. And it was like, well, we have to get in the studio and record this. So I went back to the same studio, and we each of us laid down our parts. So there were two guitarists and me singing in the first take. So it was really super great and very brilliant because they were leaving the next week. So it had to be this day or not. And that's how we got the second version. And the third version was I moved to Vienna, and I met a producer who had a small studio, and we made the version which you hear now, the one that's officially released, with the official lyric video, the very pop version. And yeah, I really, really like this version. I love all the versions, and if I'm singing live, like when I do my live sessions myself on Facebook or social media, I love to sing all of the versions because each of them has something special and takes me back to when I wrote it or composed it, or when I was recording in the studio here. And every one is good for each feeling, and different people like different versions. So yeah. And which one do you like?
Well, that's wonderful. We're going to get more into your process of collaboration later. You've mentioned various places in the world. You've really traveled around a lot, but I know that started when you were very young. It started from when you were a girl. Can you talk about your childhood and all the traveling you had to do then?
Yes, with my mum, we moved around many times. So from the age of 7 to the age of 19. I'd already moved 13 times to various different places for various different reasons, different schools. And then when I was 19, I was a live-in nanny in Guernsey for 3 boys. That was just for 6 months. So I was living there for 6 months, and then I went back to live with my mum. And then I went with my cousins who live in the south of England, a different part of England to me, and did cherry and apple work, working in the fields. And then I met somebody and we went to India together. And then I travelled around India from north to south, east to west. I've been to then Thailand, Nepal. I spent 4 years only living in India, so living through the whole monsoon season, which was a real different experience. I'd never done that before. I'd always gone to India for the winter time for 6 months and then 6 months back to England. I've also been in Spain. I've been in America 3 times.
Do you think?
Reasons.
Do you think you would have traveled as much in your adult life if you hadn't moved around so much as a child? Did that change you as a person moving around so young?
I believe so. It made me very adaptable to different situations and to different people. I was always speaking with my friends of my mom's and all different people from different ages. So I was always a very open person. I love meeting new people anyway. And I also had a very influential person in my life who was called Glenn. He was a family friend, and I met him when I was 8. And he used to live in Africa, live and work in Africa. And he had all of these stories and really, really wild stories. And he was also an amateur photographer. And he took many photos and showed me many photos of tribes that nobody else had seen. He'd gone there as sort of the first Westerner. And they had pointed teeth, and some were jumping tribes. And for me, that was like, wow, what's this world? It's something completely different. And yeah, it was really interesting to me. So as a little girl, I was really inspired by him. And of course, then when the opportunity came to travel, because I was spending time with people who traveled to various different parts of Asia, the opportunity came up and it was like, yes, because, you know, where I was living and where I was from, not many people wanted to travel. So for me, that was like, yes, of course I want to go, let's go. And then that journey started. So yeah, I really do think my youth had a lot to play in my later traveling.
And how did that influence your music? Clearly, your music has lots of different influences in it, and not all of them are Western.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I really believe it's really influenced my music. And also the fact that I didn't go to a music school. I'm mostly self-taught. And then all of the different music I've heard in different countries and the different people I've met, the different musicians I've met, they've had an influence on the styles that I like. And also my mom used to listen to a lot of music at home. It was definitely a thing that we sang together a lot without music. We passed time singing and listening to all this different music that she liked from the 70s and stuff that my nan listened to in the 50s. Elvis, my mum and my grandma were great fans of Elvis. So yeah, my music collection has been really, really eclectic, and that's had a massive influence on the music that I produce, to take all of the elements that I hear and put them in my own music is something that I really, really like to do.
Yeah. Now, you are a singer, and most of the other work is done by your collaborators. Can you talk about the relationship you have with your collaborators? There's a lot of trust involved in that, I would imagine.
There is, yes, and it doesn't always work out, I must say. I've had my experiences. Yes, it's a lot of trust, and it's a lot of being open from both sides. You go with your idea and you say, right, this is my song, this is how I sing it, this is what I want it to sound like. These are the kind of sounds or instruments or things that I imagine. I also have, I started to make a book. I was in design school. I made jewelry for a long time, and I started a bachelor's course. I only did 1 year of my course, but a lot of that was about design. So I made myself a book, and I cut out pictures from magazines and things that I found that influenced me and that were relating to my song. maybe an outfit that I wanted to wear in a video, for example, or something that just related to the words in my song. And I put those all together in the book. So when I go to the studio, I go, right, here's the book. So you get the visual of what I'm talking about, because I don't play an instrument. So it's hard for me to say, play this in this key, in this chord. I don't really know that. I know how I feel. I know the sound that I produce, and I know what the song is supposed to say. What is the message behind the song? And that's what I want to convey. So when I meet a musician or a producer, that's the whole package that I give. And I say, right, okay, so what can you do? What do you think? What's your idea? And then it's about being open enough to listen to their idea, which took a long time, I have to say. In the beginning, I was already, no, I want it my way. In my head, you know, I wasn't so forthcoming with my words, but in my head, I was always, I want it my way, and I don't want to listen to their idea. And slowly it became, okay, they probably have a valid point, and okay, let's listen. Yes, maybe I can change this lyric here because it's not really fitting the flow of their instruments. However, I do have to say that I've worked also with many guitarists who, because they're school taught, they have a pattern, and it goes this way. And it's like, well, but I've just sung it and you heard it. It goes like this. And when I sing it on stage without any instruments, people love it. So that's how I want to record it. So you have to also give a little with me. Maybe you don't play in that part and I just sing. So yes, it's a lot of compromise. Is one big word, compromise.
Well, can you give us an example of each? Because I love, first of all, I love that you bring a book of images to share with your musicians. That's a wonderful way to clue certain people into what you want. I just really love that. You were talking about collaborating in a situation where it was good, where you started to listen. And I know that in my work, I found the more I'm open to collaboration, the more remarkable things can happen.
Yes.
What's a song you wrote that specifically that happened, where you opened up and the results were nothing you could have imagined?
There is one song actually. It's not on my official release. That's another story. It was released. It was actually officially released. However, now you can hear it on my website only, and you can download a copy of it. It's called In Sunland. So I was sitting on the beach in India, in Goa, many moons ago now, and watching everything that was going on around me. And excuse the train. Yeah, watching everything that was going on around me, and it really just inspired me. And I started to sing to myself everything that I could see on the beach, everything that was going on. Girls spinning poise, practicing for their fire dance in the evening. The boys practicing with their staff. The DJ behind who was playing his records. The bar that was everything that was going on in the bar. The people that were swimming, and it was really very much about India. The lyrics in this song. And then over time, it started to change. The music started to change. The more I sang it, the more I left it on a shelf. Let's say I didn't sing it, then I came back to it. I changed the way I sang it. So that was my own change. Then I recorded it on my mobile phone, because before then I had nothing to record on. I just memorized it. So then I started to record it, and I noticed, oh, I've made some changes here. Oh, okay, I'll go with that. And then I met a guy who was from Israel. He was also traveling. I'd gone up on stage to perform, and after I'd come off on stage, he had took me to the side and said, wow, your music's so good. Would you like to do something together? And let's go on stage and let's do some cover songs. And I said, yeah. However, I've actually got my own music, and I don't really sing it on stage because I'm a little bit shy. Don't play any instruments, and what will I do? Stand on stage and sing with no music? And he said, well, that would be a great start. Do you want to sit down with me? And I said, yeah, okay. So we sat down together, and it went late into the night. Everybody had left the restaurant. All his friends had left. They were just us sitting there, with my partner at the time. And it came to the song Sunland, and I said, I have this song, and he said, sing it for me. So I sang, and he played on the guitar, and he said, you know what, actually this part here, it's great. It doesn't go on my guitar together. And I was like, well, that's how it goes. And he said, yeah, but if we put this part here and we swap this part here, I can play it better on my guitar. And I said, okay then, like, show me what you've got. And he started to play, and I was thinking, actually, it sounds really good. So that was the first time that I really opened up to somebody else's idea. And I said, okay, we'll go with that. And then we went home that night, and we practiced for a few days in the next week. And then we went on stage, played some covers, and it was really, we practiced very minimal. To be honest, a lot of the magic happened on stage. And we played this song, and people loved it. And I thought, okay then, so he has a point. And then I shelved the song, basically. And then I came to Vienna, and I sat with this producer, and I said, yeah, I've got this song, and I played it to him. And he said, yeah, I agree, there's some bits here, and Mom, maybe this lyrics here, there's a lot of lyrics. If we make a song for the radio, maybe you want to rearrange the lyrics or take some pieces out. And I was thinking, I don't want to take anything out. It's the whole song means something, It was so hard to take something. And another thing he said was, how about, I love this song. I love the fact that it's about India. However, how about tailoring it so that it's accessible to everybody, that everyone can imagine themselves on any beach in any part of the world, listening to your song and identifying with the lyrics. And it was, wow, it was so difficult. I went back and I sat there with something I never do, with a pen and paper, and I started to write, and it was actually really challenging. However, I changed the lyrics, and it is, as you can hear on my website now, and it really is, you can transport yourself to any part of the globe, because it's not just about India and a traveller lifestyle anymore. It can be Ibiza, it can be Spain, it can be Greece, anywhere. Anybody can listen to that and think, yeah, I've been there, I've been on the beach, I've seen that, I've felt that. Yeah, and that's how that song came about. And we made the recording, and everyone loved it. So
I really love that story. That's terrific. Well, now collaboration is huge, but so is vision, and vision is what got you to where you are. Talk about where you had to protect your vision against collaboration.
Okay. Yes, quite a few times, to be honest. I've had to do that, because whilst I am open to changing, I am also saying, look, I made this song, and it sounds like this, and I want this part to be like this. So Powerhouse, for example, there are certain parts in Powerhouse where I had to say, that's how I want it to sound. And they would say, but it doesn't go on a normal way. Yes, but it's not normal. And how do we create new music if we only ever follow this normal way? And for me, it's a lot easier because, as I said, I'm not musically trained in a school. I haven't done 4 years in a music school. So what I hear and what I feel, that's the song. One song is Leave Me to Dream, which is also at the moment only available on my website. It's not officially released. And my friend, who is actually married to my cousin, so he's a family member also, I asked him, please, can you help me? Because I'm standing on stage and I'm singing this song without music and people love it. I'd really like to take it to the next level and possibly record it if you're up for it. So he said, yeah, okay, let's work together on it. And he was, it's not fitting in the pattern. And I said, look, Guy, I know, but this is how I want to sing it. And I don't want to change it to make it fit to a pattern. So can we work it? And he said, okay. So we worked out some parts, some parts he didn't play, or he played just 1, 2 finger picks to leave me the room so that I can extend my vocal, because that's one of the things I like to do. I like to make sure that I can make the sound, how I sing it, how I feel it, and that might not go according, it might be 6 bars and then 4, It might not be in a rhythm, it might not be 4 4 4, because I want to extend that vocal, and that's my sound. So yes, that's one of the points where I've had to say, no, this is how I want to sound. You have to do your part now, not play or find another way, find only a few chords you can play, or maybe on the piano a little bit, and leave me that room. So yeah.
Yeah. Because you're, as you say, unschooled and your voice is your only instrument, you have a very intimate relationship with it. And it comes across in your music. It's a beautiful sound you create with your voice. And nobody would ever guess that you've gone through periods where you were embarrassed about your voice. Isn't that correct?
Yes, very, very. I remember one time I met a guy in Nepal and we did some music together. We just ad-libbed and on the fly practiced, and he said, let's go on stage. And I was thinking, ooh, I don't know if I'm ready really. And, I've come here because I want to kind of take a back seat and just chill. And anyway, he kind of twisted my arm and and off we went on stage. And, I was so nervous. I turned my chair around so I couldn't see the audience, and that was the only way I could sing. Because every time I tried to sing, I just saw the audience and your voice it's gone inside, and it was so funny, really. I mean, if I was in the audience, I'd be thinking, what's that girl doing, sitting with her back to us? And now, when I go, and I'm much more confident now. But I have to say, even still, more or less every time I go on stage and every time I do a live session, I'm nervous. I'm sitting, breathing, taking my water. Okay, am I organised? Do I know what I'm doing? And it might be that I've only had a few minutes to prepare this last song because I thought, I want to sing this tonight. And okay, and now I'm much more able to do that, to on the fly, okay, this is the song I want to sing. Have I practiced it? Not really. I'm going to see what happens. And yeah, from the days of standing on stage, I remember in India, the very first times I sung, I closed my eyes, because every time I opened my eyes, I saw the people and I was terrified. So I thought, if I close my eyes, it's not going to bother them because they're listening to me,
Right.
So to go from that to now being able to go and do my own live shows, it's a complete change. And most people would think, oh, she's really confident, and honestly it's not. If I've not done it for a long time as well, because I've had a break for whatever reason, mm-hmm. It's again this heart jumping in my chest. No, will it be okay? Will I make a mistake? Ultimately it doesn't matter, because most of the time only you know the mistake anyway. So life's too short, really.
I read an interview with you and you told a wonderful story about your mom and a karaoke session and Mariah Carey. Would you please tell that story?
Oh, yeah. Wow, well done. Yeah. So my mom, bless her, she's in cosmic heaven now. And she was always my biggest supporter. So, very early on, she had worked out that I had a good voice. Thank you. And she encouraged me to get on stage as much as possible. So yes, we were at a karaoke session, and my mum twisted my arm again and pushed me on stage with her. And again, I was completely terrified. And she knew that. So, we're singing along to my favourite Mariah Carey song at the time. And, many times I'd sung in front of the mirror with my hairbrush, and she knew that. So she knew that I could sing this song. And she thought she couldn't really, but she was there for me. And we were on stage and we sang the whole song. And I was so, happy that she was singing along with me. And I really gave it my all then, because she was with me. And then we came off stage. Everybody was clapping. As we were coming off stage, she said, they're all clapping for you. And I said, no, they're clapping for both of us. And she said, oh, no, they're not. I turned my microphone off ages ago. Oh, dear.
So what did you think when that happened? That's an amazing trick for mom to play on you, but it worked.
It definitely worked. And she knew how to do that. She knew that I would believe her. So, yeah, she was there. singing to me. Nobody else could hear her.
Right. And you told another story of when you had an experience where you sang a cappella and the room quieted down. Tell me about that.
Yes. So that was in India. The first time I sang, so I'd been going to a local bar which did jam sessions for years. And I was always at the front and always supportive of everybody clapping and singing along and quietly. And, yeah, it was the birthday of my partner at the time. And I decided that what I would like to do is I would like to sing him a song. So it was a 07 song. And he had no idea. I was doing this behind my hand. You know, we were in a beach restaurant having some breakfast, and he was talking to people, and I was practicing behind my hand very quietly this song. Nobody had any idea all day long. So I get up on stage this night. Nobody has any idea. I haven't told him I'm doing this. I just ask, can I go on stage? And the compere was already, you want to sing? And I said, yes. And he said, oh, okay then. And I was waiting, and then he called my name, and I went on stage, and everybody was kind of just looking like bewildered. Is she going to sing, or what's happening here? And again, I had my eyes closed for most of the song. And yeah, I started to sing, and it was silent. At some point, I was aware that it was very silent. And I thought, actually, perhaps my voice is so bad that nobody wants to say a word. You know, they were all just sitting there thinking, please get off stage. That was how unsure I was of myself. You know, that was the first thought. And I opened my eyes at the end of the song, and everybody was sitting there with their mouth open, and all of a sudden, they all got up. They got up, and there was not a person sitting anymore. They got up, they clapped, and they were cheering, wow, 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 yeah. And I was like, wow, really? Do you mean it? Are you just being kind because you like me? And I came off stage, and people were coming up to me. Why have you kept this a secret? A lady said. Why have you kept it a secret from us? You've held something back from us. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, yes, you were so talented, and by not singing in front of us, you've made us miss out on this. How dare you? I said, wow, I couldn't believe it. And another story from that is that I'd gone back to my place, which was I'd rented a place across the way from this bar. And in the morning, I got up and went down for breakfast. And on the way, this couple stopped me, and I didn't know them. And they said, hi, Charlie. And I thought, okay, I don't know them. Who are they? Oh dear, maybe I've met them and I don't remember. Anyway, so they carried on talking to me, and they said, wow, yes, you know, last night you were amazing. You were really amazing. Wow. And I said, oh, you heard me singing last night? And they said, yes, and we know your mum, and we've been to see her already, and we've told her how amazing you were. And I was like, oh, right, no idea who you are. Okay, brilliant. And that was the sort of moment where I thought, you know, when I was a little girl, I kind of had this dream that I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be an actress, actually. I wanted to be a famous actress. And then it was, I wanted to be a singer, and I wanted all that fame and, you know, paparazzi and stuff. And at that point, I sort of thought, that's what it's like to be famous. People you don't know come up and talk to you, and, you know, you might not have brushed your hair, you might not have had your breakfast yet, but they know you. And that's how real it is. And do I want that, was my thought. You know, do I want that? Because at the time it was so scary, that feeling. Yeah, because you're so nervous of your own voice, and the pressure that is on you, you know, because you must perform, then you must sound good all the time. But it's really a self pressure that you put it on yourself. You know.
I was going to ask you, I mean, so you have dreams of being famous as a girl. I happen to know you were in an all-girl band when you were 14. So clearly this confidence has come and gone. It isn't something that suddenly the lights came on for you. It's something that comes and goes. Isn't that correct?
Yes, definitely. And it kind of depends on where I've been in my life as well. to how confident I am in my own person, which then goes on to my persona on stage, because I believe that we all have one. Over the time now, I'm much more myself. I really wanted to be much more authentic. So when I started to prepare for really recording album material or material to come onto online platforms, then it was really like, okay, now it's a bit different. I want to be more of myself. And I think as I've got older as well, which is a good thing about age, you start to be a bit more secure in yourself. I remember somebody saying that to me once, you know, when you're in your 20s, you're like, you know, experimenting with yourself, you know, you're traveling, you don't know really exactly what you want, you know, you might want to do this job, or, you know, you're experimenting with life. And then when you hit 30, you're like, right, okay, I've got more of an idea now. And when you hit 40, you're secure in your skin, you know what you want, you've had some experience, you're still open to things, but you're kind of a bit more secure of which direction you want to go in your life. So I think definitely with age, this has been a process for me with my music too, and with my confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all things combined really, and it does come and go. You know, now I'm on a little bit of a break. I call it. I write a newsletter, so every month when I can, I write a newsletter to my followers, who are also friends and family and people I've met along the way, people who just like my music. And I told them a little while ago I would have a sacred summer pause because I was pregnant. So that was also something I didn't release immediately, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to. And then I decided, okay, now I'm really going to take this time, because this time is only once. You're going to have these few months where everything's new and you are learning your child's learning you. And I really want to just absorb myself in that, much as I'm a career person and much as I'm with my music and much as I'm still, I want to release this, I want to write this, I want to do my music. I really want to enjoy him. And what better time than in the summer? So yeah, I'm on my pause right now, and I'm not really sure when I will be coming back on stage. And probably I will have that feeling again, you know, oh, it's been a long time. Am I still good? Is my voice still good? Yeah.
So you have two voices. You have a singing voice and you have a compositional voice. Are those two voices in parallel? Are they the same voice, or are they on different paths?
They are the same voice, but they're also different voice, because yes, I have my compositional voice, and then I have my singing voice for singing cover songs, for example. But there is also German word, aber. There is also a correlation there, because when I'm singing a cover song, I'm also putting my own element into it. So there's an element of composition there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they are one and the same, but they are different. And sometimes my compositional voice, I compose the song in this way. Then I will sing it myself. So I'm doing more or less a cover of my own song, because I will sing it in a different way. So it's again a singer's voice, but it's compositional, because I will go with the flow of how I feel that day, or I will make a practice and I will say, actually, I want to sing this song a little bit slower, or I want to go higher in this part or lower in this part, because I want to change it. I've been singing it a long time. I want to sound different. I want to know if it sounds good in this way. And you mentioned different versions of songs. I really love doing different versions of songs, and that might be my own different version, no other musicians, just I want to change it up a little bit. So I do that a lot in my live sessions. I have the studio made backing tracks, which I've directed in the studio for the recording. Then I ask for that separately, so that I can go away and sing my own song without needing any backup, any musicians, any technicians. I have it, I know what to do with it. Then I will use that in my live shows, be they online or on stage. And sometimes it will play. And you know, sometimes I have this thing where you're nervous and all of a sudden you forget your own song. You forget which word comes next. So you just make it up as you go along, because nobody else knows, you know. So yeah, that happened quite a lot. And then I think, well, that I actually liked that version better.
Do you experience the same sort of, yes, I'm confident, no, I'm not confident with your composition that you do with your voice? Or are you always confident with your composition?
I'd like to say yes, but no. I am sometimes insecure of my own composition. Particularly, I've actually started working with another producer who's also from Austria. We started that a little while ago now. And basically, he asked me to come in on his music because he had made some music and he had an idea of the sort of the one line he wanted through the song and maybe an idea of what kind of text he wanted to say. However, he wanted me to come in and sing and add my own element and compose in the studio. And it's not something I've done before, really, to that degree, except when I was with my band a while ago. So it was really like coming in completely new. And I was thinking, I don't know if I can do this, actually. You know, you seem to have much more confidence than I have in myself. And we spend 7 hours in the studio, complete in one day and night into the morning. And we made a song and I composed this song. I had the first verse from his one word, the first verse, and then, okay, I sat down and I listened. He just played it over and over again. And I listened and I listened. I'm singing and writing at the same time. And then I had the second and the third. And then we had made the song, the main bones of the song. And every time I went and I did the next verse, he would say, wow, yes, again, more like that. Okay, do another take and go higher this time. And I would be like, I don't know if I can go higher, actually, if my voice will get there. And he was like, no, go on, you can do it. And I said, okay, the first one, not so good. And the second one, better. And the third one was like, wow, I even impressed myself. Was that me? Okay, I really like this. So that's how we work together. Again, we're also on a break for a while. However, we will be going back to that. And I really have to say that I really, really love working in this way. So much so that I didn't even compose any of my own stuff after that. It was basically what we were doing together, which is my stuff as well, but it's really a collaboration. So yeah, it took a while for me to compose something of my own, which I did when I went to England in November, because I wanted to spend some time with my family when I found out I was pregnant. So I spent a month in England and I actually composed a song for my son. I actually only halfway through it right now.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just an inspirational moment. I was just alone in an apartment and in the shower, actually, and I started to sing to my bump. And yeah, that's in progress.
Would you like to sing what you've got done with that song?
I'm not sure.
What if I twisted your arm?
I'm not sure that I can.
Okay.
Not sure that I remember it all. Ask me again in a little while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's circle back to your song "Climbing." You had a friend who was very inspired by that song.
Yes, I did. Yes, she was. That was a really, really amazing moment as well, which really changed the reason that I make music for me. Basically, I had met her in Goa and I had played in a market, actually. It's a Wednesday market, very famous, Anjuna flea market. And I was able to sing there. And she was there. And I sang Keep Climbing, the first version. And she really loved it. So I had recently made some free downloads on Bandcamp. I had a Bandcamp account and I made some free download cards and I gave her one and she downloaded it. So it was on her mobile phone. And then she left to go traveling in India. I didn't know where. And I didn't really think anything more of it, really, until I got a phone call. So I'm sitting in Goa. It's the evening time, and I get a phone call, and she says, "Oh, I'm in the Himalayas, and I have to thank you." And I said, "Okay, hello, why?" And she said, "Wow, it's unbelievable. I got to the top of this mountain, and it's because of you." And I was like, What do you mean? And she said, because of you, your song. I was really struggling. I couldn't breathe properly. I was really thinking, I'm never going to make this. I'm never going to make this. And then I remembered, oh, keep climbing, your song. And I remembered it was on my phone. So I plugged my earphones in and I played it on repeat. And I got to the top. And I have to say thank you. And for me, I was, wow, really? My song inspired you to do something so important to you just by listening to the words which I made for myself to inspire me, because the story of the composition of that song is I was riding a bicycle after being out all day for the first time in years, riding a bicycle in Nepal with a friend visiting some places. And I was taking the bike back and I was so tired and I thought, I just can't anymore. I have to get off and walk. And then I saw the mountains around me and I thought, yes, you can. Come on, keep climbing, keep climbing up that mountain until you reach the top. And that's how the song was born, on the bicycle there. And I had nothing to record, I was cycling. So I had to keep repeating it until I got back, give the bike back. And even as I was giving the bike back, I was still singing the song. And I had to walk back to my room, got back to my room, and then I could record it. So yeah, that inspired me to get all the way home, and to know that it inspired her to do her dream, to get to the top of the mountain when she really couldn't. That was a change for me, to say, it's not even about you saying, here's my song and here's my voice and here I am performing on stage. It's now about, this is what you can do for other people. And that can be in any kind of walk of life. And that's why I made the third version. I released it officially recently, because it was just, everybody is having a really challenging time right now across the world, and this song could help. It's not going to change everyone's life dramatically, especially with everything going on. However, I'd already been doing the live sessions from my room through the whole of the first lockdowns, 3 times a week in the beginning, and then to once a week, purely to do something for myself, to keep myself sane, and also to help people. And it was on the back of what she gave me from her phone call, because it just inspired me to think, I have something I can give to people. It's my voice, it's my gift, which I've been given, and I can help other people with this. And with my inspired words, which I've been inspired from my own travels, from my own trying to get home, from my own healing in Powerhouse, that are made for me to help me keep going, I can help other people keep going. And so, yeah, everything changed in that moment of why I'm doing this.
Would you like to sing a little of that song?
Powerhouse or climbing?
Climbing.
Yeah, okay. So, I ain't that type of chick who likes to sit around. Life is so much more fun while exploring some new ground. It's been that way, long as I recall. At times the pull is so strong I can't sit too long at all. Keep on moving, don't you stop. Keep climbing up that mountain until you reach that top. Keep on moving, say don't you stop. Keep climbing up that mountain until you reach that top. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba, woo-doo-woo-woo-doo-woo. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da, woo-boo-boo-ba-da-boom. Life is so much more fun, yeah, life is so much more fun. Climbing up that mountain and reaching for the sun. So keep on moving, don't you stop. Keep climbing up that mountain until you reach the top. I said, keep on moving, don't you stop. Keep climbing up that mountain, keep climbing up that mountain, keep climbing up that mountain and reaching out for the sun.
Thank you. I'm inspired by you being willing to sing that a cappella on no prep. I didn't warn you that I was going to ask you to sing. I apologize for not warning you. And you've inspired me by doing that for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that was completely a new version because it's not how the song goes. It was like parts of the song all put together for a small preview.
Yeah, well, you just demonstrated what you've been talking about. I want to ask you one more thing about inspiration. Are you open to just being yourself and inspiring people however they take from you, or is there something in particular you want to inspire in people?
I think a bit of both, really. Yes, I want to inspire people to be themselves, to let that light that's shining inside of them out, to not be afraid, to not be fearful as I was, to not wait years and years and years before you actually get enough behind you to say, right, this is what I want to do with my life. To keep on following your dreams, really, to do as much as you can in your life that you really want to do. Um, Regardless of whether people say, "Oh, you'll never make it," or "you're too old to do that now," or "Oh, well, do you really think that you should do that because you might not make any money?" And these things are, yes, important for life, but really irrelevant. Life is so precious. Just do whatever makes you happy. Which takes me to my brother. Um, a few weeks ago, he had an accident, and he's now in cosmic heaven. And the most thing that I've really learned is that he did live his life how he wanted to. He really wanted to be a footballer, and he has lived his dream. He played for 17 different teams. He played from a little boy all the way through. He had many friends in different teams, and they have all said so many nice words about him, how he inspired them, how he helped them through any times that they were having, and how they will play all the games for him. And he was really so talented. I remember watching him a few times and hearing all the time and learning about this game he'd won and this hat trick he scored and this trophy he got. And I really remember we were on our first day trip out or evening trip out. I took him to the fair, and we were driving along, and he said, "Yeah, I really want to be a footballer. Really love football, and I really want to live my dream. And I'm not sure." And I just said, "Follow your dream. Really, just it doesn't matter what anybody says, what anybody thinks, what you think even. Do it, because I know for myself, I had so much fear of my own presence, my own voice. If I would be good enough, I held back so many times, and I really wish now I hadn't. My mum always inspired me and encouraged me to go on stage, and so many times I said no. Once I was cleaning the house because I had chores to do as she worked, and I was cleaning in the sofa, and under the seat was an application form when I looked at it for a talent show which was on TV. And she'd secretly got it because she knew I was so nervous. Except I'd caught her out, and I really said, I don't want you to do that. I don't want to go on the TV show. No. And so she didn't do it. And I could have done that, and I could have pleased her and got somewhere, okay, it's a regret is a regret. It doesn't matter. But really, if you can have less regrets and just do everything you want to do in your life, be a good person. And yeah, so that's something I want to say to people is, yeah, be who you are, climb. You've got the powerhouse. Even if you're having a really tricky time, challenging time, you will get over it. I've had so many events recently in my life that have been really challenging, and I thought, I give up now. I give up. And then I've listened to my own words. I've listened to my own song, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember. Yes, keep going. It's not always easy, especially when it's a really hard time in your life, but you will get there if you keep going.
That's Thank you for sharing your story of your brother. That's more inspiration for all of us. I appreciate it. And my condolences to you for your loss.
Thank you so much. That's really, really lovely that you said that. Yeah.
Um, where can people find out about you? How would you like our viewers to learn about you?
I would love them to go and visit my website because I spent a lot of time making it as it is. And I'm really proud of it. And it's where you can hear all my music. It's where you can see photos of me in shows. It's where you can contact me. You can sign up for my newsletter, which is basically a kind of love letter more than a newsletter. I write with my heart as I've spoken, really, and try to be as authentic as I can be. I tell you all about what's coming up. I give you rare photos, which I will not be posting online on social media, free videos, free music, um, all the news and information of what's coming up next, and anything that I'm feeling from the heart and nice words I want to say to you to keep going. And yeah, that's where you can get that. So it's www.charleesa.com, or simply put Charleesa into Google and you'll find my website.
Let's spell Charleesa for folks that need that.
Yeah, Charleesa. So it's Charleesa.
Got it. Charleesa, it has really been a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us and sing for us and inspire us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. It's been really a lot of fun. Thank you. Really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it.
And thank you also, folks, for watching. We really appreciate you joining us on these journeys. We've had so many wonderful interviews, and there's more to come. We interviewed Tom Wehrman, and we're going to be interviewing Tom Wehrman again. If you don't know, he was the producer for Cheap Trick and some of their albums, and we're really looking forward to talking to him again. We've got interviews with Liberty DeVito and Mother's Finest, and a lot of other songwriters who are on the smaller end of the spectrum who aren't yet well known. We'd like you to check them out. And like our videos, please, and subscribe to our channel, please. We love you. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.